Hey guys, welcome to Anyco's Productions and welcome to my latest video here. Now, in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and unbox Google's latest Nexus phone in the line of Nexus phones, which is none other than the Google Nexus 5, which you can see in front of you. Now, Google every year releases their latest Nexus 4 to demonstrate basically the latest hardware and the software, and this year it's going to be the Nexus 5, following tradition from last year's Nexus 4. Now, as you can see, it comes in a very similar box to what the Nexus 4 came in, very minimalistic, and it basically just has the Nexus and a 5 symbol on the front. And if you turn the box around, it's basically nothing much except for a few brandings, a few details on the back, a picture of the device, and that's pretty much it. Unlike last year's phone, which came in, if I remember correctly, a grayish blackish box, this comes in a totally blue box. It's a bit different than what it came last year, but it's more colorful. Moving into the packaging, I'll go ahead and just cut open the plastic that it comes wrapped in. And talking about the phone itself, this seems to be a pretty good upgrade over the Nexus 4. Now, the Nexus 4 came with the latest and greatest specs of its time with the Snapdragon S4 Pro, if I remember correctly, and it was a pretty fast phone for when it was released. And now we have the Nexus 5, which comes loaded with the Snapdragon 800, if I'm right, and it's a pretty fast processor. I think it's the fastest as of yet on the market. So once again, in terms of specs, this phone is no slouch, and it'll definitely be good to go for at least a couple of years. So here you can see inside, it comes with a pretty bland box with just Google printed out on the front, as you saw, and on the back you see a couple of seals, and that's pretty much it. Now, turning the box over, as you can see, here are the seals, which I'm just going to go ahead and break. And Google tend to do this with all of their products in the Nexus line, including their tablets. They keep the packaging to a pretty minimal, and I think this reflects in the price as well. They keep the price down, and this phone just costs around $380 off contract directly from the Play Store, if I remember correctly. And once you go ahead and open up the box, the phone sits pretty elegantly, which is one of the greatest things that I like about Nexus phones. The design seems to be one of the best. I think personally I prefer this over even the LG G2 and the Samsung Note, which I was currently using. At the back, firstly what you see is the soft touch plastic, and this is the material that's also found on the Nexus 7. Um, and to be honest, I find the material and the build quality of the Nexus 5 much better than the Galaxy Note. It seems to feel lighter, but at the same time, it doesn't feel cheap, which is something that I really like. And even though they've managed to keep the weight light, they haven't got this cheap feeling to it, which I'm surprised they could accomplish. Moving in, the accessories that you're supplied with are pretty standard, except that you don't really get much with it. You don't get a pair of headphones, since this is a budget phone. You don't get any flashy stuff, just the basic quick start guide, warranty statements, and then of course your wall charger. And this is the split type of wall charger, which has a separate USB cable and a separate wall adapter, so you can take it with you whenever you're going, or you can simply use the cable to charge your device from your computer. um, Now, that's pretty much what came in the packaging. So getting rid of the packaging and turning on the phone, you can see you have your traditional boot animation. And uh, to be honest, I don't really find a problem in booting and performance in general on Nexus 4 Nexus devices. They tend to be pretty much optimized by Google themselves, and they don't have any sort of skins over them whatsoever. So the experience is great and fast, even though if I remember correctly, the Galaxy Nexus, when it was released, it didn't have the fastest specs of its time. But even a year later, when when the Nexus 4 came out, it still could. It was pretty smooth, and that's probably because of the optimization Google does, and all the great and the lack of any external skins on top of Android, and that tends to keep the performance up there. So as you can see, once you go ahead and first turn it on, you'll obviously have to go and set it up, and that should take around 30 seconds or two once you get connected, and it'll obviously ask you to do your first time setup and enable or disable location settings, your network details, insert your SIM card, and the other sorts of the stuff. And lastly, it'll ask you to input your name, after which you should be able to go ahead and launch the interface. Now the interface on Nexus, I don't really have to say much about that. It's pretty standard. It doesn't come with any skin on top, so it's base Android, what Android looks like without anything on top. And in my opinion, I prefer this over any other manufacturer's skin. I prefer it over LG's own skin. And something that unusual that happened was that my Nexus immediately crashed after I set it up. This was probably an anomaly, so I wouldn't take it too seriously. But getting back to skins, I personally prefer Google's skin over manufacturer's skin like Samsung's. They tend to bloat it up, which tends to hinder performance and cause lag sometimes. And Google's their stock interface tends to look very elegant and at the same time helps to keep the performance up there. So I can't really complain. And as you can see, I'm loading up a page here just to demonstrate the fast performance. Now my network here is struggling a bit because I was in my study where the Wi-Fi performance is a bit slow, but the page running times on this are great. And this comes with 4G LTE as well. So for $380 off contract, you're getting I would say worth what you pay for. And this was a quick unboxing of the Nexus 5 and my impressions on the Nexus 5. So I hope you guys liked it, and I will go ahead and be trying out a few ROMs. So if you're into that stuff, so you can stay tuned to my channel. I'll be going ahead and making a few videos on that as well. And last but not least, as you can see, it comes with the latest KitKat build, so thought of mentioning that as well. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, you can obviously go ahead and subscribe. Other than that, thanks guys for watching. This is ending code. Peace out.